I think this conference, and I haven't researched it top to bottom, but in scanning the field across the nation, I think I'm pretty comfortable in saying has the best quarterback play and will in 2017. Josh Rosen's coming back, Sam Darnold, uh, of course, Jake Browning, and this guy, Luke Falk, for Washington State. It seems like he's been there forever. Had another great season with 38 touchdowns, 8 picks off the top of my head, I believe. 4,500 yards passing. Then he hits that Minnesota defense in a secondary that's very underrated, was last year, and they bottled him up, and he still completes 30-some passes, but for nothing. But Washington State's what's signaled the rise of this program is they've always thrown for a zillion yards, but the running game is now much stronger than it's ever been, and they actually play some defense. It's not a dominant defense, but they've rated in the top 3 or 4 in the Pac-12 the last couple of years.
Yeah, you bring up great points, and that's a main reason why Washington State had success. I mean, under Mike Leach in his days at Texas Tech and his days in the early part in Pullman, they average around anywhere from like 35 to 45 rushing yards per game. Doesn't seem like a whole lot. 2 years ago, they got it up to 80 rushing yards per game. And last year, Mark, they broke through for 120 yards on the ground. What that allows them to do is when they have these leads in big games, especially in the fourth quarter, they're allowed to bleed the clock and maintain time of possession, which doesn't always help their offense, but it also helps the defensive front seven rest. That's been the one problem about spread offenses in college football, is that you score very quickly and cannot maintain the time of possession in terms of rushing the football consistently. You put your defense right out there and they wear down in fourth quarter of ball games. You look at Washington State overall, they have 3 running backs, Wicks, Morrow, and Williams, that rushed for 22 touchdowns on the ground last year and had 125 receptions. They have 2 big losses this year in Gabe Marks and River Craycraft, but you're talking about a quarterback in Luke Falk that completed 70% of his passes. I think that's the difference. Those running backs in the short to intermediate passing game will make up for the difference of River Craycraft and Gabe Marks. That'll help the defense. Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, has done a fantastic job. And I don't expect Washington State to start slow this year and lose to an FCS team. So I think they start fast, get the momentum rolling, and I think this is a team that wins the division and challenges USC this year.
One of my favorite sites, collegefootballreference.com, just for looking at hardcore stats year to year, looking at all the teams. If you go back about 3 years for Washington State, when Mike Leach took over, and even the season that they went to a bowl game against Colorado State, then they took a down year at 3-9. One of the most anemic rushing attacks in college football. Guys averaging 2.9, 3.1 yards per carry in college football. That doesn't happen. Even average teams have a guy averaging 5.5 yards a carry. So they have solidified the running game, and they've got that 3-headed monster that Joe talked about.